lived in a more or less ivory tower of good health, I thought that allergies from things like pollen were merely small irritations, in that they only involved sneezing and a slightly stuffed up head. After I fell ill with multiple chemical sensitivity, I was in for a severe shock. The stress of those seasonal allergies can now pile up on my frail constitution, often leading to much more severe health problems, sometimes bad enough to land me in the hospital. At the very least, they often confine me to my home, where I can feel like I'm a prisoner under house arrest. Since February of this year, when my spring allergies began, my body has felt under daily attack. Many days I'm bedridden from symptoms ranging from blinding headaches to throwing up to searing arthritis pain. Sometimes my mouth is so sore that it's painful even to talk, much less eat or drink water. These days I often wake up at 2:30 in the morning and stay up for the rest of the day. Even my eyesight is worsened. As a result of it all, I've been almost completely housebound for 4 months. And when I leave home for a doctor's appointment, I must wear a face mask. Lately, I've been joking to myself, at this rate, old age should be a smooth transition. But my health problems have affected more than my physical body. Feeling constantly ill and looking at the world only through a plate of glass or from behind a mask can deaden my spirit. Sometimes it overwhelms me with grief. When I was healthy, I only experienced significant grief when something out of the ordinary happened. For example, when my father died or when I broke up with a boyfriend. Since falling ill, however, grief has become a part of normal life. It flows in and out much like the tide, and I'm afraid that this spring the tide has been in far too much. I've grieved over the life I can't have because of my poor health, and over all of the money and time and energy shoveled into health care when this rough state seems to be the best that it can buy me. But I've also been thinking about how, were it not for my healthcare team, I would be bedridden all the time. At times like this, I must make a practically superhuman effort to keep my spirits up. In my book, I've written about the various ways that I do this. I'll share with you one example that has helped me out lately. I've been trying to divert my focus away from my limitations to the areas of my life where I don't have so many limits, to outlets that stimulate and excite me. So I decided this would be a good time to tackle my family's vast pile of picture slides, to decide which ones should be scanned and then put them into a DVD slideshow with music. As I look at these pictures of the years that my family spent living overseas, of our sailing trips on the Nile River, summers spent in the Austrian Alps, I feel so very grateful to my father for taking these pictures. The funny thing is that when my father wanted to take a picture, my brothers and I couldn't complain enough. In those days, he had to set up the light meter, the f-stop, and so on. We would be standing there for what seemed like an eternity until my brothers and I had neared the screaming stages of complete boredom. Of course, I didn't appreciate the beauty in it all back then. But what I wish I could now say to my father is, thank you for putting us through that. What a wonderful gift you have left behind. And if my father could hear me saying this now, he would probably be laughing himself out of his grave. Perhaps I followed in my father's footsteps a bit because I've photographed almost everything I've done with my Fluffernutter Club members. This is a club I created for children over 12 years ago, which is about the world of the imagination, among other things. The Fluffernutter Club will be the subject of my next book. For years I've meant to make albums for the children. This spring I decided I might as well get started. As I've looked over the photos, I remember all the fun things that we've done together. The tea parties that we've had with the children's pets, who happen also to be club members. I think of the treasure hunts left by the storybook character Mrs. Pigglewiggle, or of the annual circuses we put on in the summer, which include acts like getting the dogs to jump through a hula hoop, which I call the hoop of burning flames. Although I'm not often well enough to work on these projects, they certainly have brought me many moments of joy and pleasure during this rough spot of my life. When times are tough, sometimes the most powerful thing one can do is change focus, because focusing on our problems has a way of making them seem even bigger. But I must say that it certainly does take a lot of discipline and heart to divert my focus at times like this. If you'd like to learn about another small thing that helps me keep my spirits up, you might be interested in my video, A Deserted Day Keeps the Doctor Away.